I wanted to throw this video out there while we're doing the rust repairs on the Dutchman and to have the back window out. The locations of where the screw holes are that hold the chrome trim on. And I'm going to show that first and then explain why I'm doing the video. So on the top, you see that mark on the left where it says center. And the first screw hole is an inch to the right. Second screw hole is 9 inches to the left of center. Second screw hole 17 inches to the left. And it's the same over there. Going to the bottom, this is your center mark right here where that X is. First screw hole is 1 3/8 inches to the left. That one is the same to the right. But you start going further out and they're off from side to side. Second screw hole is 8 3/4. Second screw hole over here is 10 inches. Okay, now you go over here. These screw holes are measured from the parting line of the Dutchman panel and the quarter panel. So you got 1 1/4 inches to the right, 2 3/8 to the left, 6 inches that way. Over here, you have this. Now you're going to want to stick around because I have a 68 GTX that I'm going to show you where the trim screws are on that car, and they're in different spots. All right, so going up, I put the tape measure in the corner there. First screw hole is 2 5/8, 9 1/8, 18 5/8. Go over here. We got 2.5 inches going up from that corner, 9 1/2, 18 3/4. All right, so the reason I'm doing this video is because when I was taking the window out almost 2 years ago, and if I would have known where the clips were, the window probably wouldn't have gotten all scratched up the way it did. I'm going to try to catch this. This can be tricky to catch a scratch in a piece of glass. I don't care how good of a photographer you are. It's going to be tricky to do. Okay, hold on. Right there. See those scratches? There's scratches all the way around the glass. Oh yeah, you can probably see those right there. Because we didn't know where the trim screws, you know, the clips were. And the window hadn't been out in 50 years. You know, this is 2 years ago, so let's say 2022, the car's a 70. Window had never been out, first time. In fact, it's got the correct part numbers and date codes and everything, which I'm going to show right here. See that? Pentastar. You can see scratches right there. Anyway, the chrome trim would not budge. Had to fight to get the trim tool in there, searching for where the clips were, and we just couldn't find them and kind of destroyed the window. But you know what? It's the original window and it has the correct date codes and part numbers, so I'm going to put it back in. I'm just going to try to buff it out. But anyway, let's go look at the GTX. All right, so this is a 68 GTX. And I have the tape measure right here. It's not all marked off like the Super B is. But look at this. The first trim clip, you're looking at like 4.5 inches up from the bottom. The second one, you're looking at 10.5. Third one is a little over 19. So you can't even really compare car to car. I mean, I don't know if these were hand drilled at the factory or if it depended on which plant they came out of, but you can see the ones on the top up there. And the one in the middle is always a little bit to the right because of the parting line of the chrome trim. Okay. It's the middle. And this one's missing a few, like right there. Anyway, you get the point that there's really no rhyme or reason at this point. Anyway, I wanted to show a little bit regarding the Dutchman panel rust repairs that we're doing on this car. I'm going to go to the right side here. because the car's pretty solid. Didn't really have a whole lot of rust in it. Now I did sandblast just the window channel itself, and I'm going to show what I used to do that. I got this gravity feed hopper gun at Harbor Freight. That thing works pretty killer. I ran it at about 120 psi. The only problem is you might consider is that you have to refill it every minute or two, because it's kind of a small hopper and it empties out pretty quickly. And I got this Black Diamond coal slag. This is the fine grain stuff at Tractor Supply. That stuff works really good too. It gets most of it. Some of the rust that was in here was a little heavy and it wouldn't take it off, but like you see the black part right there to the left of the screw hole. But it gets 90% of it. Anyway, what we're doing right now is, so there was some rust down in here. So you can see it's already cut out. This little patch panel started out like that. I just had to get a picture because it's already obviously been trimmed to fit. You know, I didn't want to take all this stuff out because I'm trying to save the original paint on the car. You know, it's 50, it was built in 69, so it's 55 years old now. And a lot of this paint's original. Believe it or not, this is original paint on the top of that quarter panel. This may have been painted. I'm not really sure. The top of this quarter's been painted, but these are original stripes, and that's been painted in there. Doors are original paint. Anyway, to me, I don't care if it looks like it has patina. In my opinion, it's art, and I'm gonna leave it the way it is. If I ever sell the car, the next person can either paint it or leave it alone too. Anyway, so all the sheet metal has been trimmed. You know, the bad areas with the rust has been taken out. We're down to solid metal here. And this has been trimmed. Let me get a flashlight. It's probably hard to tell. Oh, pardon me. I have to go all the way back out here to get the flashlight. Take a look at the Saline and the Challenger. It's a 70 U-code 440 automatic air-conditioned car. Original. That'll be the next project. Okay. Now, probably see better with the flashlight here. Put that up there. All right, so all the rust has been trimmed out of here. Like I say, this panel, I'm almost done fitting that. I'll show you what needs to be done in a minute. This, so the aftermarket piece isn't big enough to cover that area. It goes to about here. So I fabricated this little piece. I was joking with my buddy that this is a $100 piece of metal. Probably more like 200 because it took at least an hour to do. And you know what the labor rate is these days. Anyway, that thing is ready to tack weld in there, and then I'm MIG welding with 24 thousandths wire. That is pretty well fitted in there, but I'm going to show you a little problem that's going on. Now, if you get your straight edge like this, you can see that window channel needs to be straight, and where that piece is, you can see a gap now because this is a little bit to the left. Okay, so you could go ahead and weld it in and be like, it'll be all right. Yeah, wait till you go put your chrome trim in. You're gonna be fighting that thing till the cows come home. So I'm gonna make sure to pound that out a little bit more before that gets welded in. I wanted to show a couple more things inside the trunk. Hold on. Well, first of all, okay, now check this out. The trunk's never been painted. You can see Just got a few holes in the trunk. I don't care. I'm going to leave it that way. Here's one of the reasons why. You see an area like this. That's obviously all factory seam sealer. Look how heavy it is over there. But the guy that did this side at the factory must have had a glob on his finger, and he just said, I'm done. Moved on to the next car. Look how heavy that is. Okay, I'm gonna get in the trunk. All right, now check it out. I made a small mistake doing the rust repairs because I've already started doing those. This, I put a piece of sheet metal in from the back and then MIG welded that in there. You can see it's a little low because it's easier than trying to butt weld a piece that fits, you know, basically like this other piece here where it's gonna have to be like butt welded in there. So right here, there was a couple of pinholes right here. Down here, trying to get the light on it because I don't know if it's getting the right exposure. There was a couple of pinholes down in here. I'm gonna say like the size of a pea or an eraser. So let's go in the trunk and look to see how this turned out. All right. Wanted to show the trunk light there too. That's pretty cool. Gotta get a new bulb for it. So anyway, those small holes that were in the middle, you can see that weld, which all I did was take the bad metal out. So then let's say you have a gap of 1/8 inch, 3/16, something like that. And then you start filling, basically filling from the good metal in to the center. All right, and that's the way that weld turned out. It's a little more time consuming, a little more difficult than if you put like a patch panel on the back side of it. And to show you an example, over here, that's what I did. I put a patch panel back there. Try and move the light here. You can see the patch panel right there. And then on the front, on the other side, it's much easier to weld. It's easier to weld when it's overlapping as compared to filling a gap. But look over here. These torsion bars are in the way. Way back there, you can see there's another one that I filled from the outside in with filler instead of a piece on the back. So I don't like the way this one looks. With that, I'm not going to do that anymore. In fact, I should take it out, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to chalk that up to a mistake that I made, in my opinion anyway. Yeah, so like this, you could technically take a die grinder or a sanding disc or wheel or something and grind it down, make it look like you wouldn't even know it was done. But anyway, yeah, that's what's going on over here with this Super Beast. I think that pretty well covers it. Try to get out of here. All right, cool. So next step, finish the welding back here. We're gonna paint the top. It's getting painted satin black. It is a vinyl top car, but I don't want to put a vinyl top back on it. Oh yeah, I was gonna show one other thing that's kind of cool. From the factory, when Chrysler installed these tops, there was actually staples right here. Looks like there was about 4 staples. So when the guys were stretching it on the assembly line, they'd pull it tight, they'd staple it there. I'd like to see how that stapler worked. What kind of stapler they had to use to get staples through this 18 gauge sheet metal. Look, there's a staple hole. There's a bunch more. So yeah, we're gonna finish the body work. Paint the top, not the car. You see we got some rust there that needs to come off. I might even blast it. That's that same coal slag right there. Did this with that. You can see it doesn't take the really heavy pits off. And that's part of the reason I don't want to put a top on it, because I don't know if it might start to rust again. I mean, it's minor surface rust. It's not like there's holes in it and stuff. Anyway, that's what's going on with the Super Bee. Thanks for watching.